Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. If managing your email inbox feels like a never-ending task, or you're interested in leveraging AI automations to simplify your workflow, you're in the right place. In today's tutorial, I'll cover 3 key areas to help you in this journey. First, we'll go over the basics of AI automations, including some tips on prompt engineering. This will give you the foundation you need to create custom solutions that fit your specific needs. Second, I'll show you how to make your email inbox work for you. We all know how tricky it can be to keep up with emails, but with the right automations, you can streamline your inbox management and save a lot of time. Third, I'll walk you through setting up all the necessary connections between Make.com, Airtable, OpenAI, and Gmail. Setting these up can take a while if you're doing it on your own, so I'm breaking it down step by step to make it easier for you. Plus, I've included all the templates and prompts in the description below, and the video is organized into clear chapters so you can jump to the parts that are most relevant to you. Whether you're looking to optimize your daily tasks, explore AI's potential, or just get a handle on your inbox, stick around. Let's take a look at the end result before we dive into how to get there. So I'm pretty excited to show you how this runs. I have just sent a heap of example emails. We'll run this, and so it should pick up the emails I've just sent for this test. Pretty excited to see the results. Now let's jump over to the inbox. So let's take a look at another one. Booking for next week. Hello, I'm out of town this week but need a repair done next week. Can we schedule in advance? Best regards, Chris. And this is automatically replied to them. Hi Chris, thanks for reaching out. We'd be happy to schedule your surfboard repair for next week. Please book an appointment here at a time that suits you. If you have any questions or need further assistance, feel free to let us know. And select the link, and then you get this Calendly link where you can schedule a time to come in. Pretty cool. So what else can we look at? Like, this is just coming through like it's just mass production of emails. And if we head over and look at our drafts, we've got a lot more there now. The draft emails are the more sensitive or a bit more complicated ones. So you want the admin to come in the morning and just look at them and go, oh, okay, they don't have to actually think about what they're going to say. It's already there. So let's go from the top. Cost to repair cracked rail. Hello, I have a crack along the rail of my board. How much would it cost to repair? First, Jamie. Thanks for reaching out to us. Repairing a crack along the rail of your board typically starts at around $70, but the exact cost can vary depending on the extent of the damage. We recommend bringing your board into the shop for a precise estimate. If that's not possible, feel free to send us some photos of the damage. Let us know if you have any other questions or need any other assistance. So the admin just needs to go send, and that's done. So then we go to the next one, last minute ding fix. This would have been classed as urgent. So we've got here, hello, I leave for a surf trip tonight. Any chance you can fix a small ding before then? Best, Jamie. And the reply is, thanks for reaching out. We understand your urgency. If you can bring your board in immediately, we'll do our best to fix the ding before your trip tonight. Please note that express repair services may incur an additional fee. Feel free to call us to confirm your arrival time. All right, as you can see, that's a lot of email replies in a very short time, and the quality is high quality. So we can just jump back over to our database and just see that this is still plugging away in the background. Yeah, so that's it. So I'm here in Make.com, and it is an awesome platform that helps you to create workflows and connect applications together. So here you can see you've got Google Sheets, OpenAI, Telegram, you can link Instagram. The opportunities are endless. There are thousands of apps that you can connect here, and it's super cheap. I'm using the free plan here, and if I just go into create a scenario, we can get started. There's a link below if you want to get started with that. So to access the template for this make scenario, once you select create a new scenario and you've downloaded the template from following the description instructions, then you just come down here, select more, import blueprint, and choose the file. So that will be this one here. Select save, and there it is. So you can follow along and just place your own connections in here. And like I said, I have actually provided all the information you need to connect this to your accounts. So head over to the link in the description where I provide all the resources. All you need to do to start with is type in Gmail. Now, I will let you know that you can instead, if you want to use Outlook and even a custom email inboxes, there is another email module where you can set up different email platforms. For simplicity, I will use the Gmail because it's pretty popular. And we're going to select watch emails. Now you're going to come up to connections and add a connection. I've actually already got my own here. If you are adding one for the first time, you'll add in your client ID and your client secret. You create them in Google Cloud Console. Before we move on, I want to show you how to connect the Gmail account to Make.com, and specifically we're going to get the client secret and the client ID from our Google Cloud Console. It is tricky, so I'm going to make this as simple as possible, and I'm going to provide all the information you need in the description below. So I'm here in my Google Cloud Console, and this browser here is in my paid workspace account, which I've just set up. And then I've got another one here, and this is one that I have not paid for. It's a business account, but I just don't have any paid subscriptions. So for the free one, if I just select new project, you're going to have the options of project name and location. Location will be no organization, and then you just select whatever you want to name it. I actually have exceeded my limits with projects in my account, so I won't proceed through that one, but I will show you how I do it in the other account. So there are a few key differences between creating the client ID and secret for a free Google business account and doing the same thing for a workspace account. So I'm going to go through the workspace account, and then I will quickly go over the differences between the free account and the Google paid workspace. So project name will be Make Email Connection, and then organization, that's your domain name. Location, domain name, create. Awesome. So now our project is started. We're going to select that project and then head over to the left side menu and go to API and services. And we would like to then go to enable APIs and services. We will select email. So this is the Gmail API, and select enable. We're going to go over to create credentials, and there are a couple of questions to be answered here. So select an API. We've got Gmail API. What data will you be accessing? So we'll be collecting user data. Select next. Then we place app information. So I'm going to say make Gmail connection. That's my Gmail email. We do not need an app logo. This will be my email address again. Save and continue. Now we do want to put scopes in there. So we want to add or remove scopes. And then we want to go over to the Gmail API. So I'm going to, just for convenience sake, select all of these. I'm basically saying here that I give myself permission to access all of my Gmail data from within the Make platform. And it just makes integrating the workflow so much easier. Then we just select update. Now, we do need to fill out some information underneath this section here and this section here, but for now we're just going to select save and continue. OAuth client ID, so it's going to be a web application, and then we will create another name, just keep it consistent, make Gmail connection. Now we don't need to put anything in authorized JavaScript origins, but we will need to add 2 redirect URIs. We might wait, actually no, add them now. So I have a resource here which I'll put in the description where you can copy paste everything that you need in this process, and then we just select create, and note that it may take up to 5 minutes for it to start working, but we've already got our client ID already. Awesome. Now select done. We'll access that later, and to be honest, I think that's it. That was actually pretty simple. 5th or 6th time around. Okay, so here in OAuth consent screen, we need to make this external. It should not be internal, and instead of just doing it like this, I want to select go to new experience, because this is obviously the more updated Google Cloud formatting. So we're going to make that external, and if you are using a free account, just select testing, and if you're using a paid one, well, this is what I do, I select in production, and from here we're going to go to verification center and prepare for verification, and you'll see here it's got the following required fields are missing. Fix this issue, and now we've got this here accessible. So if I haven't already done this, you can see now up the top you've got app name, make Gmail connection, your user email, so Gmail email account, then app homepage. I've got the resources for what you should put in there down in the description again for your reference, and just make sure there's no spaces in there. And that's that part done. So select save. If we go back to verification, prepare for verification, it's got missing the following fields. Okay, so we need to provide a little bit more information. So we go fix the issue, and we will answer this question here. How will the scopes be used? So in my make.com workflow to streamline and my email pipeline and make me more efficient. I'm going to copy that and paste that in this next one, paste there, and then I'm going to select all of the features, okay, and I'm going to place a YouTube video that I've created in there. So this one here, just copy that and place that into here, save. So now we can check verification again, prepare for verification, any additional info, don't think so. That's fine, submit. So as you can see, it says the trust and safety team has received your form. They will reach out to you via email if needed. It can take up to 6 weeks. So that's how you create your client ID. To access it, you just go over to client, select this link here. And as you can see, I've got this client ID. So you're just going to copy your client ID, select add next to connections, name your connection. This is going to be info@wave Gmail. We're going to select show advanced settings, and then we'll jump back over to client ID and select client secret. So then we're going to copy the client secret, jump back over to make.com, paste that into the client secret section, select submit, and choose the account that you want, that you have created the authorization in. Select continue, allow, and there we go, it's done. So from there, you just continue to fill out this form. Okay, so I'm here in my Google Cloud Console for my free business account, so I don't pay a subscription for this one, and I'm just going to highlight the key differences in getting the client ID and secret in the free business account compared to the Workspace paid account. And that will be here if we just go into our APIs and services and we select the OAuth screen. And here you can see we're in testing. In the other section, when we completed the process, we published the app. I'm just going to go over to the new experience. We still have it external and we need to add a user. Otherwise it won't work. So you need to put your Gmail account in here as user, and then you will be absolutely fine to connect this to your Make account, which is pretty cool. And then if we go down to data access, you can see we don't have these extra questions that we need to answer. We don't need to verify it. So this is the entirety of what's in here. So you can name it the same thing, like Make email connection. We don't include JavaScript origins, and we have the same authorized redirect URIs, and then same process, just copy and paste your client ID and your client secret. We're going to select a folder and go down to inbox. Filter type, keep it with simple filter for this one. And we're going to ask it to only watch for unread emails. Mark email message as read when fetched. So then they're going to turn to unread once they've been checked by this module here. And we will put the maximum results as 100. And now let's run this module. So this is actually now checking my inbox, which I've just created this one here. So you can see there's 3 emails, and here, now this might look daunting, it's absolutely not. We've got bundle 1 for the first email and bundle 2. So it's a bundle of information, and it's got information of who sent it, who it's sent to. It's all stuff that we can use in our workflow from here. So the next part that we want to do is we want to categorize the emails that are coming in. So we are going to use an OpenAI module for that. You'll need an API key. So here's the OpenAI website. I've got the link down below. You will just come up here to products. Now, you probably know of ChatGPT. We're going to be looking at the other product is that API. So that allows us to take the functionality of ChatGPT and put it into the workflow that we're creating. Pretty cool. So here's the dashboard. If you haven't got an API login yet, it is different to ChatGPT. So if you're paying subscription, it's got nothing to do with that. You don't need a subscription to use this. It's pay as you go. The costs are actually extremely low for this. It's negligible. Also, you should get $5 credit when you sign up, which will last you a long time. So we go over to dashboard here and come down to API key, go up to create a new key and name it. So simple email automation and default. That's it. Create the key. So it is a secret key. You don't want to show anybody this key. And once you have seen it this one time and copied it, you will never be able to see it again. So if you lose it, then it's gone, but it's not too much of a worry because you can just come and create another one. As you can see, I've got 1 million. Okay, so we're back here in make.com and we're going to select an OpenAI module. There's a few here. The one we're looking for is create a completion, and we're going to connect the workflow to OpenAI. So you select add here and then paste your API key. You can leave organization add and then select save. I won't do that because I've already got mine connected. We'll select a chat completion, leave that as it is. For this circumstance, we're going to start off with the latest for Omni model, which is a really capable model in terms of language. It's just as good as the Omni 1 preview, which is the state-of-the-art latest OpenAI model release. That one's better suited for coding, mathematics, and like heavy reasoning tasks. So in this case, this should be fine. Max completion tokens is safe at 0. We're going to select role assistant. Actually, we're going to select role and use system. And I'm pasting this prompt that I've already prepared and I'll go through it briefly. So we've got the introduction, who this AI is going to be simulating. It's an AI assistant for a surfboard ding repair shop. Its task is to categorize incoming customer emails into one of the following 4 categories based on the content of the email. So read the customer's email carefully and determine the single most appropriate category. Provide only the category name as the output. Do not include any additional text. So we've got categories. 1, general inquiries. And then we've got a description of what determines a general inquiry email. Then we have number 2 is important inquiries. The third one is urgent emails. So this includes complaints, requests for quotes, logistics related inquiries, or urgent repairs. And then we've got miscellaneous for the 4th category. And in this section, we've just got anything that doesn't fit in those categories or any follow-up questions or emails where it needs extra. It's good practice when you're writing prompts to include examples. And then I've just got an instructions section down the bottom, but you can have a read of that. I'll provide this template in the description below. So this prompt will be in there and you can tweak it for your own use case. In this case, I'll actually delete this. We will put the customer's email somewhere. And for that, we're going to add a message. The role in this case is going to be the user. The user is just providing the text context here. Now you can go further and put subject line in there as well. Just to keep it simple, I've just used text content. So that's just the body of the email. But like you could put in email addresses or, time and dates to contextualize it more. And that is it. So I'm going to select OK here. I'm going to save this and we're going to do a test run. So to do a test run, we select run this module. Here's an example. Hello, are you hiring? I'm experienced in surfboard repairs. Best, Jamie. Okay, so remember we've got the general inquiries, immediate inquiries, urgent inquiries, and miscellaneous emails. So what would you expect given the definitions? What would this come under? This model looks at it and says that's a general inquiry, which I say it is, which is cool. So next we're going to go and move this information into a database where we can start to reference it and create response emails to the emails we're getting. So here's Airtable. It is a really cool database system. It's like Google Sheets, but it has a lot more functionalities, a lot more things you can do, and it connects much more seamlessly into make.com as well. Here is what you get in the free plan. So you can have unlimited base and 1,000 records per base, up to 5 editors, 1 gigabyte of attachments per base, 100 automation runs, which come in handy, and an interface designer, which is really cool too. So in Airtable, we're going to go down to create a new base and start from scratch. Now, I haven't actually pre-planned exactly how I'm going to do this. We'll just go through the process of how to create an AI automation that is useful like this. So name, okay, so the name, obviously, this is going to relate to each email that comes through. So we're going to make this an auto number. So it just automatically is numbered and the name can be just called email, save. Next, we are going to need the category and that will be a single select. So we've got 1 of 4 choices. So we come down here and add option. So we've got general inquiry. We have, what were they? One moment. I'll just copy paste exactly as they are. The thing here is that everything needs to be exact and precise. You can't say, oh, well, it says inquiry. It should have known. If it doesn't say exactly inquiries with an IES, it won't register that it's the same thing. So I'm going to show you how to access the Airtable base. So once you get into this page, this is where all the resources are. Just download this, open that up, select this link and paste it into your browser. So you should be signed up already and have your profile logged into. All you need to do is go up to here to copy base, and this will import into your Airtable workspace. So you select which workspace you want it to be in. So for this example, it will be my first workspace. Select add, then name it what you want it to be called. So for example, my email database. You can change the colors up here, do something like this, and call the table something that reflects your own purpose. So next is important inquiries. The third one is urgent inquiries. And the last one is miscellaneous. Great. Okay, so now we need somewhere where we could actually put the email. And like, I know we've got the email inbox, but like the whole purpose of this Airtable is so that we have a place where the data is, that we can then have our AI assistant, our second employee, to come and actually do the work on that email, because you don't want to do that inside of Gmail. We just want to get the emails out and that's it. So that's all we're doing with the email platform, is going in there and getting the email out. We do our thing with the AI in Airtable, and then we send the data that we approve back out to Gmail. And also, it's important that there is a human in the loop in some of these AI automations. It's cool to have one that's 100% done. It's not practical all the time. So that's why we get it to create a draft, and then someone can make sure that that is authorized to send back to the person. So we've got email content, and that is going to be long text. We can have also a maybe email content subject line, date and time. Date. Perfect. 24-hour create. And there's an additional field, actually an additional 2 fields that I think are really good to have in all tables. You don't need to actually show them, but like you can hide them up here. It is created time. And the reason that this is good is because it helps you do other automations when you're sending data to make.com. So we've got created time, and the other one is record ID. So it gets the unique ID from this formula. All you need to do is type record ID. Yeah, there you go. And then close the bracket, create field. We also need somewhere where we can actually see the reply. But you know what? We'll get back to that in a moment. What we want to do now is figure out how are we going to get the data from Make to our Airtable rows. Before we head over to make.com, we need to title this. So we're going to call this email database, and let's give it a little emoji. Awesome. So we've got our database, and instead of calling this table 1, we'll call this emails, because that's what each record is. It's an email. Save that. Awesome. So now we've got our Airtable set up, and we can connect it to make.com. Click here anywhere on the page, just right click add our module. So in this next section, I'm going to show you how to get your access token from Airtable. I've got the link to this builder hub in the description. Now all you need to do is select that. You've obviously already logged into Airtable, take you straight to your profile, and then just select create new token. Okay, so then we just select the name. So the name for this token is going to be email database, and the scope, this is important, select all of them. This token can access the following bases and workspaces. You can only grant access to bases and workspaces that you have access to. That's self-explanatory. So remember, our base is called email DB with the emoji email, and if I add a base, I could go down and find that, and then this particular token would only give me access to this base. Alternatively, if you plan on using Airtable in more Make integrations, then you can select all current and future bases in all current and future workspaces. This is so much better because you only have 20 of these connections that you can make with Airtable and make.com. So if you have to go and create a new one, a new token and a new connection every time you do it, then you're going to run out of connections available. This way you only have one and it covers all of your bases. So I highly recommend doing it that way, but you may have another reason for doing it differently. Create your token, copy the token, and take that straight back to your Gmail. Take it straight back to your integration. What we want to do is select on create another module, select Airtable, create a record. We're going to go add A connection type, it's going to be Airtable token or key. And see here, the API keys are going to, or have already been deprecated. So we are selecting the personal access token, paste that there. We don't need to do anything in the advanced settings. Select save and wait for it to connect. Pretty cool. Here in the database, if I type in email DB, select this one, and now it's connecting to the database that we've created. Select on emails, and now we're going to have all of the details of that table generated in this container here. So we've got category. See here it says map. We select that off. We can just select a consistent category that always comes through, or we can map it so that it is dynamic and it changes for each record run. So in this case, we find that in results. So let me run this module only, and I will get an example email, text context here, and I'll just select this, copy paste it. So I've pasted it in here, and now this is running. So remember the prompt we've provided? It's run that, and it said, okay, this is a miscellaneous email. Awesome, exactly what it is. It's working well. Okay, category, and here you can see result miscellaneous, and I'll just select that. So if it runs again and the result is general inquiry, then that variable will be placed here. And we're going to do the same for email content. Is going to be down here, text content. Subject line will be subject. Date will be date. It's great to have that stored, and we might actually place a router in here. Now the router lets us do different actions based on different results, and we have 4 different results that we could possibly get. So a router is definitely of good value here. So we're going to actually create 4 of these, and 4. Perfect. Okay, so obviously each of these pathways represents one of the categories we've just created in our OpenAI module. So how do we make sure that the category or the email that gets sent through the workflow goes to the right pathway? Well, we're going to create a filter. And so this first filter we will name general inquiries, and we select a condition. So if the result is, and instead of saying is equal to, we're going to say contains case insensitive, and we say contains general inquiry, then it will go down this route here. And we're going to go down and do that for each of the pathways with each of the categories. So we have important inquiries, condition. So we can still place the result in there. Remember that's a dynamic value, and we select contains case with case insensitive. Important inquiries. The next one will be urgent inquiries. So the dynamic result will go in the condition. So if the condition is or contains case insensitive urgent inquiries, then it will go down that pathway. And the last one is miscellaneous. You guessed it. If the result contains case insensitive miscellaneous. Okay, awesome. So now we choose like what we want to happen for each category. There's so many choices as well. It's pretty exciting. General inquiry. So because they're general in nature, that means that across different situations, things would be similar. So a draft email written by AI works very well in these circumstances. So what we're going to do is create another OpenAI module. And in this case, I think what I'll do, instead of doing a chat completion, I'm going to create an AI assistant. Oh, I just deleted my general inquiries. Okay, so we've got general inquiries up here, and we're going to select message and assistant. Now we haven't actually created this assistant yet, but I will do so, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so here we are in the OpenAI assistance platform. So remember the API dashboard we were in? If you head back there, go over to the left-hand side and select assistants. You can select create a new assistant, and we can together create an assistant for your email caretaker. Now I have a prompt which I'm going to paste in here, and you'll have access to it in the description somewhere, but it's just an example. But with your own circumstance, you can put what's relevant to you in this prompt. So we've got, you are a customer service assistant for Gold Coast Surf Repairs, a surfboard ding repair shop located on the Gold Coast, Australia. Your role is to respond to customer emails in a professional, conversational, and down-to-earth tone that reflects the Australian friendliness and culture. So in this particular one, we're including the knowledge base in the system prompt. There are ways that you can place the knowledge base into the assistant outside of the system prompt. But in this case, it's just going in the system prompt. So this is our knowledge base. Services offered. We go into different types of material that is used in repairs, opening hours, location, contact details, and then we've got some instructions on how the assistant should communicate, so their tone of voice. We go into a little bit more of the specifics on the types of answers that will be created and some rules. So this prompt is very specific on the instructions. After that, we have the examples. It's very important to place examples into the prompts. It creates like a template for how it's going to respond. Now, at the end of this, I'm going to paste this here and say you will receive the customer's email in next message. Then you are to draft an appropriate response. Save. Awesome. We will use GPT for Omni. We don't need file search simply because we haven't provided a knowledge base outside of the system prompt. It's all in there. And that's it. So from here, I'm going to also enter a name, AI Wave Email Assistant for general inquiries. Brilliant. Now, here's the cool part. You get to see it. If we jump back to our automation and let's select refresh, this is so cool. So we just created our own AI assistant that will do the instructions that we've said. If I select assistant here, it should come up on the first row, the top row. AI Wave Email Assistant General Inquiries. There it is. Awesome. So we have everything in that system prompt there. We can just go straight to user and select message and then place text content in there. Brilliant. Select OK. And now let's run this module. Text content. That's going to be the email. Let's do an example email. I am very happy with the repair you did on my twin fin. Thanks a bunch. Okay, so that's being sent to OpenAI, who is now creating a message based on the prompts that we just created, and now we've just got it back. So you can see here, that's the prompt, that's the input. And down here, if I select content, plus, and text, and value, we've got our draft response. Hi there, thank you so much for your kind words. We're stoked to hear that you're happy with the repair on your twin fin. It's always a pleasure to help fellow surfers ride the wave with confidence. If you ever need more repairs or advice on keeping your board in tip-top shape, don't hesitate to reach out. Happy surfing. Cheers, AI Wave Gold Coast Surf Repairs. Pretty good email to come out of thin air. So what you can also do is add on the instructions your Google review link. How awesome would that be? I have just been thinking about the flow of this AI automation, and I have recategorized the important inquiries to booking inquiries because it better reflected the definition of the second category. So along with changing the filter to booking inquiries, I have also updated this prompt. So in the second category, booking inquiries, and down in the example output, I've put booking inquiries for this particular example. It's pretty simple changing the wording over, but you need to remember that this needs to be specific. I've just created the prompt for the urgent inquiry assistant and the booking inquiries assistant. The booking inquiries assistant is really cool because it outputs very reliable responses because there's not too much involved in this particular circumstance with bookings because it's a surf shop. I'll jump over to the prompt and I'll show you. It is a long one. That is mainly because I'm getting the assistant to turn the response into HTML. Let me quickly explain why it's important to have our emails in HTML format. So basically, using HTML format ensures that the automated emails sent through make.com look professional and include formatting and links. This makes your emails more engaging and ensures they display correctly across different email clients. Now let's dive into how to configure our prompts to generate HTML instead of plain text. A few things to note with it is that I've got it signing off as the AI assistant from the administration office. I have a Calendly link that will be sent in certain circumstances, actually most circumstances, And that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple email that comes through. That's why we're actually going to automate this email and say that it is from the AI assistant. So we'll jump over to the assistant's dashboard, and all you need to do is I'll create it new again just to show you how it's done. So this one will be called email cleaner booking inquiries. All that you need to do is copy paste this into the system instructions. And of course, if you've got your own knowledge base, you can talk to ChatGPT about this. But essentially, so this is what we've got: booking inquiries assistant, who it is. The booking inquiries include booking requests, cancellations, and rescheduling. Output format, we want it in HTML, and design guidelines. Again, that's the HTML stuff. You don't need to really look at that. The only thing you need to change, if you have your own brand colors, just find out what they are. Ask ChatGPT. Just say, can I change the pastel blue in this phrase to a bright yellow, for example? And it will know exactly what number to place here. And you can put your brand fonts in here as well if you like. And it's basically, you can change this prompt to suit your needs. It is just a template, but it is also like a very reliable template. So I'd highly recommend something like this if it fits your business. So we'll save that, and I'm going to clean this. All right. So we can actually look at examples in the playground here. So it's fed an email that goes like this. Hi, mate, I'm really keen to get my old surfboard repaired. Is there a certain time I can come in to get it fixed? Cheers, Jack. Run. And now you're going to see a heap of HTML code. I'm also going to show you this website. This is really cool. It's called CodePad. I first used it when I just didn't know anything about code. This is a free account that I'm using. And all you need to do is go up to, where is it? Pen? Yeah, just select pen, copy that, and then paste this here, and you'll be able to see what your HTML is going to look like. Pretty cool. Here is the footer. And if you want to change your header and footer, I really highly recommend just going into ChatGPT and asking, just say, oh, I like this, but could I have like maybe a gradient style header? Whatever you think of, you can do. You might want to say, oh, I'd like the words in this certain color. The sky's the limit. It's pretty cool. So besides the header and footer that we can now see and this formatting, here's the actual response. So, hi MJ, thanks for reaching out and for your enthusiasm. We'd be delighted to help you get your old surfboard back in top shape. Please feel free to book an appointment here at a time that suits you best. We look forward to seeing you soon. Book an appointment, and there's the booking link, and that's actually my booking link. So you can actually put your booking link in here, select the time, and that's it. It's pretty cool. So that's just an example of what you can do or how you can customize these emails. But what we'll do from here, so we've titled this email cleaner booking inquiries. If we head back to our automation, we are going to select messages and assistant again. We're going to select the connection that we've just created a few moments ago. And so we've got email cleaner booking inquiries. Role, we're going straight to user because our assistant has every bit of prompt that we need. So user is simply going to be the text content. We will actually add tool code interpreter. We've got HTML in there, so we can use the code interpreter, and select OK. Now let's run once. We're going to do an example email. So I was supposed to bring my board in to get fixed on Thursday, but I've put some epoxy over it and it's fine for me at this stage. Thanks anyway. Okay, let's see how this output turns out. Now I'll paste it into CodePen again. So this is being sent off to OpenAI, the Omni 4 model, and actually I'm not sure if I specified. So over here I didn't put code interpreter on, but we'll do that for Omni as well. So we'll do that. And in terms of temperature, we're going to turn it down, maybe even to like 0.1. The temperature reflects how creative the response is. We want these to be reliable and dependable. We're not looking for creativity so much. So we'll keep it as low as possible. And let's jump back over to our make scenario. So here you can see input. We've got the email that I've just provided as an example. In the content, if we click down one down to text and then to value, we get to see our response. And remember, this is HTML, so we're going to copy that and place that into CodePen. Awesome. So Gold Coast Surf Repairs, expert surfboard repairs on the Gold Coast. Hi Tara, thanks for letting us know We're glad to hear that the approximate worked out for you and that your board is in good shape for now. Your appointment on Thursday has been cancelled as requested. If you need any repairs in the future or have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have an excellent day. Now, the cool thing is these responses are very reliable. There's not too much oversight needed in this circumstance. So we will just send it straight as a reply email. So we're going to say, instead of drafting, we're just going to send an email, and the reply address is going to be sender email address. So we're returning it to the sender. So you can see that this module here is flashing. That means that I'm getting the sender information from the email that came through here. That's this one here, email address. That's who we're sending it to. Now we can also CC ourselves in this so we can oversee it. So go email address down here, and the subject is going to be reply subject, and the content is going to be this result, and that's it. So if I run this module only, sender address is that, subject is testing, and result is here, and recipient is, so I'm going to put my address in here and select OK. We can see that this has worked. It's been sent to these two email addresses. The content is all of that. So here's the email. Pretty cool, hey? So it's from me, obviously, to me. Hi Tara, thanks for letting us know. We're glad to hear that the epoxy worked for you and that your board is in good shape now. And you can link your Facebook or Instagram down here as well. So pretty cool. I really like that. I'm going to show you something that I've added to this email response. So remember how I mentioned that when the emails are sent, they're sent in a strange format. So the best way for me to demonstrate is, let's say I have some text down here. Hi Tara, thanks for the ding repair. Cheers. Now that's spaced out nice. It's easy for the human eye to read because of the formatting. But when that is sent through Make to our email, it will actually turn out like this. The spacing won't be there. The formatting doesn't translate. So that's why we actually have HTML. And that's why I've put this symbol here. Basically, this means that the next text symbol will be on the next line. And if you put two of them, it's going to be 2 lines over. So this space and this, so enter and space don't actually mean anything. I could just as well do this, and it's going to be read in an email the exact same. So I only put this enter in here for my readability. So I've got 2 new lines here, one after this one after this one, 1 and 2. Now here I've just put the details of the email we're replying to, so we can easily see the chain of communication, which is really important in this type of an automation. So we just put date, and then we go over and select the date from here. So that's the date that original email was sent. We go down and put the subject in there, go over and put the sender email. So that's the person who sent us the email, their name, and then the HTML content as opposed to the text content, because this email content we want in HTML. And then select OK. Brilliant, done. Now you guys will find a prompt for the urgent inquiries in the resources. Here it is. Just copy and then paste that into another assistant the same way that you've done previously. I already have this one set up, and just select save and head back to our integration, select OpenAI, message an assistant. We select the API connection that we've created already. Go to assistant, select your email cleaner urgent inquiries. Role will be user again, because we have everything we need in the prompt. Again, you can go through and alter different variables to suit your needs. In the message is of course going to be text content again, and that's it. You can select OK. In this case, we want an email to go directly to the sender, and that will be a templated, not AI created email. And then we also want a draft response for the employees, so they can just check what the email was, what the guy's response is, and edit it if need be. So to do that, we'll just get another router in this first row where we're going to have a templated email sent straight to the sender. We will just go send in email. We're going to add a recipient, and that will be the sender here. And we're going to also include ourselves in that email. And then we will just state here, we received your email, and then just put the name in there. And that's going to be here, team has received your email, and We'll be sure to get back to you ASAP. Gold Coast being repaired. And that's enough. Of course, you can make that into whatever you want, but this is just an example. So select OK, and then we can also send a draft email to the employee who has to respond to these urgent emails. So first off, the draft inbox, email address 1. You can also use these tabs up here instead of going down to sender and recipient, because this is who we'll be replying to. So email address reply to. And then subject is going to be RE, the subject line here. Content is going to be result here. And we can actually just go back to up here and copy this, because it's going to be the exact same variables. Jump back to this module and paste that there. Select OK. Brilliant. And we can give this an example from this module, reply to. So I'll just put test. The email will be sender name Tara HTML. Okay, so let's get some example HTML. Go back to our trusty code pen, paste that in there, and result, we'll just put the same thing in there. So here is our draft email, the test, and it came through brilliantly. How good's that? I'm also going to show you an example of what happens when we send the templated email straight to the sender address. Run this module. The sender is my email account. Recipient name is Tara, and recipient's email address is this one here. Select OK. Brilliant. And here you can see the automatic reply we got for our urgent inquiries. Just here. Thank you. We've received your email. Cool. Brilliant. Okay, let's go to the next one. So that's miscellaneous. And what we want with miscellaneous is no AI to reply to it. We just want these ones to revert back to unread. Over here, we read them. And these ones that filter through these 3 sections will be read. But this one, we need it to go back to unread. It's unresponded to. We haven't even tried to respond to it. A person needs to do that. They can stay in the inbox, but you can set it up to be sent somewhere else. And all we need is the email ID. And we come down here. Here's the email ID. And that's it. That's very simple. And let's just tidy that up. Okay, so now we have our general inquiries path, which is producing plain text response to email, but we haven't got it hooked up to the email yet because it's only plain text at this stage. We have a booking inquiries row that is sent straight to the user because the output is reliable in this circumstance. We have the urgent inquiries. We have the draft email from the AI being sent to an employee to check over and then send. And the other thing we've got going is a templated email being sent to the sender saying that we have received the email. Then we have this last route. Miscellaneous is just being referred back to our inbox for the admin or whoever attends to the emails to have a look at this. So these 2 are in HTML. This one, it doesn't matter. This one's plain text. Now, so what I want to do is actually show you another handy trick that we have up our sleeve, and that is this module here. It's called Markdown, and we have the options of turning HTML to Markdown or plain text, or going the opposite way, so turning Markdown to HTML. So what we're going to do is turn this one into HTML. Now, it's not going to be the fancy HTML that we have in these emails, but it is going to be formatted well enough to reply email. All you need to do for this is pop the result in there, and then we can clone this module. So this is the one that's going to the draft inbox and put it there. And all we need to do is take out that AI response and put in this HTML. See, it's flashing there. Just move it out of the way. This HTML variable. And it will be sent to whatever employee that you want it. In this case, we'll just keep it the recipient. But if there's a particular person who manages general inquiries or administration, then send it to their email. And then we just select OK. And we've got all of that set up. How cool is that? Now, let's talk about our Airtable base. I actually thought about the usefulness of having a database for this use case, and I concluded that a database is absolutely necessary. It gives us the ability to easily track, access, and perform the informed upgrades to our system if they're needed. Without it, we can only see what's been happening in the background by entering each email chain, and that can be tedious. With our database, we can seamlessly access all aspects of how our AI models are responding to our data, from email categorization to email responses, what replies have been sent, and what has been drafted. We get all of that in one dashboard. So let's jump back over to our Airtable and get into it. Okay, so we're back in our email database, and one thing I'm going to add in here that we should have added earlier. So if I want to add a column in here, you just say insert to the left, and that's going to be the email address. That will be the email address of the sender. And if you scroll down, you can just find, or if you can't find it, just type it here, email. There we go. So we'll pop the sender email address in there. So we have the category up here. Now remember, we changed the immediate inquiry definition to booking inquiries. So we're going to do that now. Otherwise we'll get errors when we run our automation. Save that. We've got subject line, the email content, and now we're going to put some columns in there to capture the AI's subject line, which is basically the same subject line usually, except for we're putting the RE in front of it. We're going to capture the AI reply. We'll capture the AI HTML and whether or not an automatic reply has been sent or if it's just been drafted. So let's go from here. So just select on email content, insert to the right, and we'll place AI subject line here. And that will be a single line text. Create the field. Then we're going to insert another field, which is going to be a long text. This will be the AI reply. And so this is going to be plain text. So we'll leave it like that. And then we're going to do the same, insert to the right, but this time it's going to be in HTML. So we'll say AI reply HTML. And we will click long text. But if you see down here, we've got enable rich text and formatting. That will help us with the readability within Airtable for the HTML content. So create that. And the reason we're doing this is, again, more for ourselves, for our own readability. If we have the AI HTML, say for example, for the draft urgent inquiry responses, it's very hard to read the HTML. So we're going to have the plain text in this column here. And then lastly, I'm going to add to the right a single select, and this is just whether or not an automatic reply has been sent. So remember, we've got the booking inquiries, which send an automatic reply, and our urgent inquiries also send one, but it is just the template reply without any AI input. So this will be a single select, and we select yes, and by default it will be no. So we go down here and select no, and that's it. Brilliant. Okay, so before we jump back over to our automation, I am just going to note here that I've renamed my table Gold Coast Sting Repairs, and I have also placed the name in here as a single line text. Okay, so let's head back over to our integration, and now we want to connect this to Airtable. We have two new columns. One is the AI HTML reply and one is the plain text reply. This row up here caters to both. At the moment we have a plain text and we have a HTML that we can place into our table. So we'll start with this one and we can complete it straight away. So select on Airtable modules and we are going to update a record. Now remember, over here we've created the records for all of the emails that have come through. So up here we're just updating them, and we first need to select the connection that relates to your project. Go down to base and select your base. For table, now you can see this is the table that will relate to my project. You will need to select the table that relates to your project, and then we will select record ID. Now that's the record that was created back here in that first module. So we select ID there. So remember, we have some new columns that we can add information into. So if we open this module back up, just select refresh, you'll find that the new columns are now able to be seen in here. Okay, so here we're going to place the email address of the sender place the name of the sender in here, and that's it. We can select OK and we're done. We'll come back to our Airtable module for the general inquiries pathway. We are going to place our AI subject line. It's a return email, right? We're just including this column for record keeping. So it's RE and then it's the subject line here. AI reply HTML. Now just note that this is going to be different for each of these pathways. And so for this top pathway, the HTML is in the markdown module. The AI reply, so plain text, is going to be in the results for the OpenAI module. And that's all we need to complete for this pathway. For the booking inquiries, now remember this is HTML, so we want also to have a plain text variable. So we're going to do the opposite of what we've done here. We select the markdown, but instead of going markdown to HTML, we're going to choose HTML to markdown. We will select the results from our AI response, that's the HTML. And then we can, to make our life a bit easier, we can just clone this module here, place it on the end of our markdown module, and just update what we need to. This way we just have connection base and tables and record ID already set up. Now I will mention here, if you're new to make.com, you only have access to the variables that are in the flow of information that leads up to the module that you're defining. So for example, with this one, because we've got filters here, the information is only going down one of these pathways. It will never go down two or a few of them. It just chooses one, basically. So that means that the information from the subject line will come through to all of these pathways, but the information from this markdown module up here won't flow onto this pathway here. And likewise, this OpenAI response won't be available to this pathway. So let's delete that and delete that. The AI HTML reply in this circumstance will not be the this markdown module, it will be the OpenAI HTML. And likewise, we've got the AI reply is going to be the plain text, so that's the markdown module for this pathway. Now, additionally, in our booking inquiries, remember we do send the automatic reply. If the mapping here, we have the option to change this to yes, which means yes, we've sent the automatic reply. We know that because if we've got to this stage here, this Gmail has actually been successful and that Gmail has sent the email. We select OK, and we're on to our next section, which is urgent inquiries. Now, for urgent inquiries, we have the templated automatic response and we have the draft email. So we'll copy these and paste them, and we will unlink that. We're going to place this markdown in between here, and we'll put that there, and we will also clone this and put that there, and then we'll tidy this up a little bit. Let's put in here HTML. So we're turning this HTML into markdown. Very simple. There we go. Now, actually, I have labeled this just to make it a bit easier. The first row is the templated automatic reply saying that we've received the email. So we don't need to include any AI responses or HTML in this section because we're actually sending an email that already has a subject line. It already has the reply there. And we just want to keep this automatic reply sent yes, because if it's got to this stage, then this module has been successful. Now, the draft email, we want to record the HTML and we want to record the plain text in our database. So actually it's interesting. That is already filled out because we copied and pasted it, which is pretty cool. But we need to put our OpenAI HTML result in there. Select OK. And we're done. That should be it. Okay, so we've just sent 10 test emails to my inbox. And if I run this now, starting from the last 10 emails, and select OK, then run once, we should see this working perfectly. So the first email has been categorized and it's going up to the booking inquiries. So if we jump over to our Airtable, we can see it's been logged. So we've got the first email is repair consultation request. So it says, hi, I'd like to bring my board in for a consultation to assess the damage. When would be a good time? Thanks, Jordan. And we have the reply is, hi, Jordan, thanks for reaching out. We'd be happy to assess the damage to your board. Please book here at a time that suits you. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Awesome. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have been sent. So 2 of those are booking inquiries and 3, well, it should be 4. All of the urgent ones should also have one sent as well. Once this is filled out, we'll also notice this will change to yes, which means that a templated reply has also been sent. And this will be a draft response for Luke, our repairs manager. Awesome. So if I jump over to the draft folder, we can actually check all the emails that are ready for Luke or the admin, who we can check over them and then send when appropriate. So we can also go down and actually see the email it's replying to. So, hi, I felt rushed during my visit and didn't get to ask all my questions. Thanks, Morgan. Hi, Morgan. Real sorry to hear you felt rushed. We strive to provide Please feel free to reach out and I'll be more than happy to assist you. Appreciate your feedback. Pretty good reply. You can change it. So if we send it, it's going back to the returner email, and awesome, done. Okay, so I've got another draft here. So it says, hi, I picked up my surfboard yesterday, but the repair seems incomplete. There's still a visible crack. Please advise Alex. Hi, Alex. I'm sorry to hear the repair didn't meet your expectations. Please bring your surfboard back to the shop and we'll make this possible. Cool. Okay, so you can see here I've got a few emails in return, and this is in dark mode, by the way. That's why the colors are different. We've got some of the templated email receipts saying that we've received the email. Okay, pretty cool. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to actually turn your email assistant on so that it works when you're not even in make.com. So down here you can see we've got run once. That's how we've been testing it. In this circumstance, we've got our trigger here. It's going to be triggered at a setting or a schedule setting that we choose. So I think this is really cool. So if you select at regular intervals, then you can actually choose how often the scenario runs. So let's say we're running a surfboard ding repair shop. We want it to run every hour, so 60 minutes. And then if we go down to advanced scheduling, we can say, well, every 60 minutes, but not really during the evening, for example. So we can say from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we can select all months. Then it's not running during the unnecessary times and wasting operations. And you even have further scheduling options down here. So that's really cool. Alternatively, you can just say, okay, I just want it run once a day. Say, for example, in the mornings, 7 a.m. So they're all prepared for the admin staff who come in just for a couple of hours in the morning, if that's the case. So then just select okay. And then remember, we want to configure this so that it runs the approximate number of emails that we expect to have received at that time. So for example, if we are running it every hour, we might want to say run a maximum of 20 results and select OK. So every hour during the weekdays, this runs once. If we run it once a day, we might say, well, you know what, we'll up this to 100 and select OK. So hopefully this has given you a lot of ideas as to how you can set up your own email assistant for your business. Follow for more tips and tricks, and I'll see you in the next video.